So the next couple segments of the stream are going to be segmented into the different eras of Kinda Funny. Because of scheduling, we're going to start with us, which is me and Andy and Kevin, which is the first employees of Kinda Funny.
Yeah, this one sticks out to me from Vit Patel. This is what we're going to listen to first.
Vit Patel here, and wow, what a journey you've all been on. Coming up from the community, and that one time when Kevin was an enigma, you know, many people say he's still an enigma. I just wanted to say I'm oh so proud of everything you've achieved, and thank you for all that you do. Not just for the best friends or those big, beautiful kids, but for Kinda Funny. You've elevated the game and made Kinda Funny so much more than it was. Sending you all the love from the UK. Peace.
It is funny to think about a time where Kevin was unknown. Yeah. I love that you've never deviated from the whatever your description is, which is Tim told me to tell you I'm the real Kevin.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot.
And Kevin's become such like a presence in Kinda Funny content, off camera, on camera, that it's crazy to think about a time when you were just mysterious.
Yeah. I would say the laugh was definitely missed. Like, even watching chat reacting to Kevin being back was like, oh, you know, Bless and Mike are talking shit about whatever, or so-and-so is gaming here. And having Kevin's laugh as the constant, you know? The North Star in the background, you know? A lot of awesome.
What were those days like, Kevin? Chaos?
I mean, it was wild. Like, it was mayhem, right? Like, we did so much back then. It was awful. We would do one day where we would record, and I was just talking to Greg about this, where we would record 5 Let's Plays. And, like, by the end of it, everyone was, like, in a shit mood.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, we were working out of their, like, apartment.
Spare bedroom.
Yeah, and, like, there was so much to do with in the day that, like, by the, like, 6 o'clock, their girlfriends would come in, and it would suddenly be like, all right, well, I should probably leave. I'm not done working.
This is the home transition.
Yeah, and then I'd go home, and then it's like, well, now I'm hanging out with my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife, and it was like, oh, let's hang out, and I'll wait till you fall asleep till I do these edits. And then it'd be 1 in the morning, and I'm editing this thing, falling asleep, and then people would be like, oh, the name bars are misspelled. It's like, oh, man, he was like coming in and out of a coma. Oh, shit, let me get this out. You're going to upload it.
Your response should have been, I was going to misspell it regardless of whether I was or not.
But like, Andy, I had so much anxiety about it, because like, they'd be like, you know, they'd be really understanding, because, like, they knew this was my schedule.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, hey, man, you messed this up. And, like, that only lasts for so long. So they're like, hey, man, you got to get better about this. They're like, you got to give me a fucking thing that I can copy and paste.
This is just how Kevin is. This is the Kevin.
I'm like, I can't be expected at 1 in the morning to be handling this.
These next 2 are both from Corey Cudney. This first one is for Joey and Andy.
Yeah,
sometimes Google Drive is like a little...
Joey and Andy, I want to group together because they just exemplify what it means to cultivate a great community. They both immediately and enthusiastically embraced me making the GIFs. They never tried to shut it down. Andy specifically encouraged me in such a great way. Joey was always so good about everything, going out of her way to get me details to flesh out that Giphy page. None of that could have happened without them just embracing and encouraging me in a way that they didn't have to.
Corey rocks.
Why would we ever constrain you, Corey?
Yeah.
You've done so much incredible work for us, and like anything that we can do to like help you, help us is an instant no-brainer, of course.
Yeah, super talented, and obviously just has a passion for what we do, and it kind of, you know, it's what I was doing when I was making fan art, or it's what anybody's doing whenever they're just really passionate about something, and he cares about us and cares as much as he does to have that Giphy page with a shit ton of stuff.
Millions of views at this point.
Didn't it hit 1 billion?
I think maybe, probably.
I constantly get texts from random people being like, oh my God, I searched for this word in Giphy and your picture popped up.
When I was at work, somebody used a Greg Miller GIF.
It's all Corey. it's all Corey. And you're seeing the same thing with the homie Evan Yan, who's making a lot of like different breakouts and just getting into editing and yeah, it's always encouraged because it helps us out, obviously, but also I get to see my face a whole lot,
And it's always fun to be able to like champion people who do like so much amazing work for us.
Yeah.
To be able to get other opportunities in other places, like anytime we can vouch
100%.
for you to make gifts for anybody else, we are like obviously more than happy to.
Eric Myers.
Ooh, Eric.
So one of my favorite memories involves Andy, and it was when Matt Batson and I were working together on a kind of funny wrestling bit. And he needed a cover of Limp Bizkit's My Way, and so I went and recorded that. And then later Matt comes to me and he's got vocals from Andy. And I have never had a more challenging project than mixing Andy just give it his all in these dry vocal tracks going, I'ma do things my way. It's my way. I was just in absolute hysterics. That is just a wonderful, cherished memory.
Yeah, I don't even remember what that was for.
I think you said KFFL.
Oh my God, was it?
Or I think he said wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Sorry, my bad.
Oh
KFW.
my God, that's right. That's when they were introduced. I think that was something with like the Joey
J&W.
J&W.
How
yeah.
dare you
God,
forget?
that
Sorry,
seems
Joe,
like
sorry,
we put
sorry.
so much more effort than
But
we
yeah,
needed
like
to.
again, like that's another thing that I also get excited about, and I love being involved in anything Matt Batson is working on because he's so creative, and I respect him so much as a creative.
That basketball game was
and
so
Eric
good.
Myers kicks ass at guitar, and for Matt to be like, can you do a Fred Durst impression? I'm like, fuck yes, I would love to try, you know? I'm gonna do things my way. And it's just like, fuck.
I see the issues he was having.
You'll see things my way. I was just recording in my room. That's all it was. It was
Hell
awesome.
yeah. Thank you, Eric.
The next one is Kevin Garaventa.
Good name.
Kevin G.
Really cool name.
One of the best memories that I have about Kevin is when he happened to fall outside the house and they ended up getting it on camera. And he was willing to bring it in and share with everybody rather than just be embarrassed by it. So something I just love about you, Kevin, is what you're adding to Kind of Funny and willing to put yourself out there like that. So thank you.
Kevin knows what makes good content, even if it's at the expense of himself.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
I don't-
not share that.
I don't know what episode it was during in review, but we broke into coverage as if like the president had been shot, and we.
I think he hit every show that day.
We interrupted this episode of interview and be like, hold on, we have to watch this.
Wait, no, like,
And it is one of the most animated things I've
Your
ever seen in my
physical
life.
comedy, even
Yeah, physical comedy.
or like in
My recovery.
Yeah, just the thing of legends, Kevin.
So what was happening is I had to do something on the second floor, and this was before the floors were connected. So I had to run out, and like I was almost late for running a show. So I was running up the stairs, and I fell, and then I had to get up and run to start
Post-fall.
the show. Yeah, and when like we got all set up, I was like, okay, guys, just so you know, I'm really hurt. I fell. And everyone was like, wait, what? And you know, these assholes, they're like,
we gotta ask questions.
yeah, you have cameras
Of course
everywhere.
we're going to talk shit about it.
And Tim knows you have cameras everywhere.
So yeah, they're talking shit about it. And it's like, well, you know, what do I have all these cameras for if not to pull up the footage? So yeah, it was. I think it was an in review where I was like, all right, I have
Fine,
it.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember the episode.
Oh,
It
I keep
caught
thinking
me
about
right
the Smash
there.
Mouth edit that somebody did.
It was very good.
It's just like the whiplash.
Oh, the Gwen
back.
Stefani one, Bruce Wayne Brady, was also
Yeah.
excellent.
But Andy, I got up and ran up the stairs and started the show.
It
Yeah.
would never deter you, Kevin.
I'm telling Nick how awesome it is that Kevin Feige sat down with all of the directors and had a rules of the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat down with everybody. And he's, here's what the rules are. Isn't this cool, Nick? Like Kevin, like being in this meeting and being told like your heroes can do this and blah blah blah, but they can't do that, and timelines, all that stuff. Like, isn't that awesome? Rules of the multiverse, man. It sounds so cool. And Kevin goes, yeah, but do you think they told them like you can't talk in your character? Like Groot, no happy. And I was like, he was, you know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't know what you mean, Kevin. He goes, yeah, you know, like at Disneyland when they say, you know, you can't like.
You can't say you're the princess.
You can't say you're the princess. And Tim goes, yeah, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about something completely different. And Kevin just sits there, waits a beat, and he goes, oh yeah? And it's one of the funniest fucking clips. It's just all of us. Like everybody on the show is like, no, that's not what he's saying, Andy or Kevin. Like that is, you're way off right now.
Oh, Of course, the chat is also calling out Joss Whedon.
Joss? His name's Joss?
I thought it was Josh.
Joss?
Yeah. What do you think happened in that big meeting that they had where Kevin Feige sat down? Did you hear about this, Nick? Kevin Feige sat down anybody and everybody who's ever been involved and is going to be involved, and it's like, we're setting the rules, all right?
Rules
like,
of the multiverse.
These are the rules, all right? So everybody take your notes out, and we got to be on the same page so that nobody's kind of screwing stuff up for future movies or whatever.
But do you think they're going like full Disney, where it's like, man, if you're the character, you can't say you're the character. You're the character's friend. You know what I mean? You can't tweet and say Vin Diesel is sitting there being like, Groot definitely didn't die. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're telling the actors, hey,
You know, in
you can't have
Disneyland, when you go to
opinions.
Disneyland, the characters.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with what Andy just said.
See, I'm glad we got to rewatch this.
What happens in Disneyland with Vin Diesel?
When you're there with Vin Diesel.
What do you...
Oh, yeah?
Someone was asking earlier, where does that Kevin "Oh yeah" soundbite come from? And that's exactly
There
where
it
it is.
is.
Oh, yeah?
Incredible.
Because I didn't know how to explain what it was. Like, I was like, I explained it. What do you mean?
Oh, my God.
It's easy enough. Like, did they have the actors involved and tell them, hey, you know, Groot died. You can't say, hey, I don't think Groot died. I think Groot's still alive. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't think that that's an issue that they were having.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Next up, we've got kebabs.
Ooh.
Hey, kebabs.
Kebabs here. My fondest memory of Joey is on the KFAF when someone opened a box of plastic forks on both sides, causing her to accidentally dump all of them on top of a cake.
Who was
opens
that?
a box on both sides?
Who does that,
Great
Joe?
question, Kebabs. Who opens a box on both sides? Andy.
Who does that, Joe? I mean,
I can't believe you let me take the fall for it.
You so quickly were like, Joey.
you look so silly there, Joe. You look so ridiculous.
Against the tiny horses.
Don't.
That is a metaphor for this show, if I've ever seen one.
Who opened it from both sides?
Oh, I'll give you one hint as to who did that.
Box open from both sides.
There you go. Cool guy just comes in and gets a fork. Did you do it? You fucking monster.
Remember when you physically hit me with the carrot and the wine?
I apologize for that. I apologize for that because I don't like that was my instantaneous
That was a
response.
great moment,
It's
though.
really only come out twice.
Oh, my
that
God.
one that happened with you, and when Greg Miller tried to scare me in the Vancouver airport, and I hit him and knocked his phone out of his hand, and then maybe he lost the recording of that because
He deserved that, though.
yeah. Being woken up.
This is one bit that is so unfortunate we haven't done more of. Because we have a ton of carrots right now.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we do.
Wild Wings.
Who? Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck has carrots here?
Of course, I had to drop the line from Dumb and Dumber. Why don't you drink up and we'll tell you?
Which I didn't know was a line because I've never seen Dumb and Dumber.
Not good.
I was pretending not to know.
Andy, I thought we were on the same team back then. And I should have known better.
Does the documentary end with someone putting the carrot in?
I think so. I think it was Alyssa.
This is like at
No.
what, 4 in the morning? 5 in the
Yeah,
morning?
this was way early.
Yeah.
I think.
Damn it.
Oh, jerk.
I think it was.
I think it was
Alyssa,
Alyssa, yeah.
But we had staged that at the end just to have something fun at the very end. Carlos Rodriguez.
Hey, this is Carlos Rodriguez, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness,
Nerd a
aka
day.
your nerd a day. To Andy and Joey and Kevin, I wanted to give you guys a special shout out for just these past 10 years of being amazing people, and it's been really inspiring to see people of color, do it at such a high level, in this industry. And thank you, just purely thank you for just being amazing people.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like this is a lot on the two of you of like really embracing your heritages and like really putting it on display at Kind of Funny in a way that I feel like we hadn't really seen before you two.
Yeah, I feel like it, if anything, it made me almost more proud because I wanted to, to show everybody where I come from, and that's why I would always, shout out RGB and all that stuff. Like I wanted to show people and just kind of show other people who were maybe like me, who never thought like from the RGB, it's like I'm gonna stay here all my life and become a teacher. I just, not that there's anything wrong with that. Just like I don't do that. We don't do that. Like we, just think about like Latino uncles and aunts and stuff. It's like, no, we don't do that shit.
Yeah.
You want to be on TV? No, we don't. Fucking, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Whatever. This weird sort of like machismo thing when it comes to like chasing dreams or whatever. But I will never ever forget all of the support that my parents had for me growing up. Like the amount of times that they're like, you're going to be spending a lot of money in this art school. But I remember my dad being like, I fucking hate my job though. Like, and I want you to do something that you love. And it's like,
yeah, gotta get up to the fam that loves and supports. And even if it feels something so outside of the norm, just being like, I want something better for you than the life that I live necessarily.
Yeah, it's so cool to be able to tap into our, like my Latin heritage and like the ability to like speak Spanish and like I remember like bumping into Ignacio Rojas like outside of the old studio. And me just starting to talk to him in Spanish and him being like, oh shit, you actually speak Spanish. And it's like, yeah, dude, like 100%.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's such a cool thing that like always is another avenue, another door that I can open and just suddenly, this whole other realm of people that I can interact with and have another special moment. And it's happened many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Even for me, I feel like you guys have been like an inspiration. Don't fucking you started it. But like being half Mexican and half Japanese, there's like always that conversation of like not feeling like enough because like I'm only half or whatever and like not necessarily like fully embracing either side of it. But like being around both of you guys, like I feel like really did that for me too of like, oh, this is like something that I can embrace and like even as an adult like really dig into more and stuff like that. So
yeah, I talked about it on Twitter several years ago, but growing up when I was really into music, we wanted to when I moved to Austin or whatever, it's like it's almost like I was ashamed, of my heritage. And now realizing how much more special it makes me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all at the mall. It was one of those days where we had a
Target excursion.
We had one of those nice excursions where we didn't have an afternoon show, so it's like let's go get lunch and then let's go whatever. So we went to lunch and then we were walking at the mall afterwards, and somebody at like a Champs Sports or whatever, some sort of sports store was like, "Hey, oh my God, kind of funny. You guys do the Marvel reviews." And I was like, oh shit, that's the only thing you know us from.
Somebody that doesn't know us from games.
Yeah, you're not a gaming person. You just started watching because of whatever, MCU and review. I was like, whoa, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Well, I remember like Engadget wrote an article about us when we did that. And it was like crazy because it was like at that point in life, like I used to visit that website every day. And it was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like we've done something special.
We made it.
Yeah.
Next up is
roughly
Paul
an hour.
Holden.
Paul Holden, I feel like I've got an email from you with some
This one goes out to Andy the Nitro Rifle Cortez, the funniest member of Kind of Funny. You cemented me as a Kind of Funny best friend for life. I thought as soon as you joined the team, you were changing things and setting things off in the direction that I wanted to see. And of course, Kevin and Joey making sure that everything getting done is getting done. No one does it like you three. Thank you for doing what you do, and congrats on 10 years of Kind of Funny.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate the kind words.
I feel like we talked about it a little bit earlier. You were like a little bit nervous about coming in when you came in and like being a replacement for Colin. But I feel like you just came in with like a totally different energy that like put you in a different category. And like added a lot of levity that I think that the Kind of Funny in the community needed at that time.
I think of the language of humor, and I think that there was a side of the audience that maybe spoke a different language of humor that then saw what I was trying to bring across. A lot of like just the kind of like deadpan weird stuff that I always
remember when
kind of
everyone thought you had a completely different persona before you started Kind of Funny?
Oh yeah,
with your 30-second reviews.
Yeah,
there was for the 30-second reviews. I remember when Andy moved out here. We actually hung out more before we moved in with each other because he would come over every week for Better Call Saul.
Oh man, BCS, dude.
But before the first time you came over to watch Better Call Saul, whatever it was, season 2 or whatever, Alyssa stopped me and she was like, "Is he really like that though?"
I would venture to say Alyssa is far from the only one that thought that, because I remember there being a conversation.
Yeah. We have Marcus Standaffer.
I trust you.
You nailed it.
Kevin, you are fucking hilarious. One time you said, "Science go far here."
Yeah.
And me and my fiance just died. It was, I don't know why, but it was the funniest thing ever, and it still is the funniest thing ever. But congrats on the baby, and congrats to Kind of Funny for another great year.
That
Thank you.
That needed to be a t-shirt.
Science go far here.
Just like a very serious quote. It needs to be amongst a lot of very important scientific quotes throughout from true visionaries. You know, we need to see goddamn Einstein and all of these
Benjamin
amazing
Franklin.
philosophical people, and
Who
then
else are we doing?
science go far here.
It's just sometimes people throw to you and you're just not 100% ready. And you like what comes out comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But God bless you for being, those are the nuggets that come out of, I feel like you've probably had some of the most like quotable moments. Save the planet, save the trees.
Save the rebellion.
Save the rebellion, thank you.
Save the rebellion, save the trees.
Yeah.
It wasn't save
My
the dream.
throat was fucked
your
up,
your voice was so, that was after KFL, right? That was after KFL 3, I think.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah.
Save the rebellion, save the trees. The Science Go Far here also reminds me of during our Star Wars stream, me looking at Nick and going, "Man, I'm hungry," and him going, "Me hungry too."
I got scared. I was like, "Oh shit, something's wrong with Nick."
Something's wrong with Nick.
And what I also appreciate about you, Kevin, is you roll with the punches no matter what the response is from the people around you or the chat. You are just happy to roll along with it in like the best manner possible. I feel like it's so easy to get defensive or embarrassed or anything, but you embrace it always 100%.
I like the way you say cock.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I like the way you say cock.
It like freaks him out to say it, so he like slows down in a great way. Go ahead, say it for her.
And he goes, I'm glad I'm not on camera because I'm smiling so much right now.
I'm smiling ear to ear and
The part where the other thing that I love about Kevin is it was an interview, it must have been, but when you disappeared at one point and reappeared and nobody knew what was happening and Tim was so freaked out.
The green screen.
Oh gosh.
Someone mentioned it earlier too, because this is something that I just think is so funny because it's just me being myself of like
the big beautiful kids.
No, the in review where I'm having a conversation, I pull a cookie out and I'm using it to point, and I start eating it because it's just like in my mind, like, oh, eat the cookie.
Of course, God bless you, Kevin. We love you. Thank you so much, everyone who submitted voicemails. There are so many voicemails that were submitted across the board. We're going to make sure to send them out to everybody so you guys can listen to everything that people have said about you guys, because there's a lot of really nice messages that we just didn't have time for because we have to get to the next group. We're going to bring out the next gen of Kind of Funny, which is Snowbike Mike, Roger, Barrett, Blessing.
Kevin yelling Barrett during the background of game.
Shit was falling apart. It was falling apart.
Just Barrett. What? You say, no, I'm calling Barrett. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't worry about me. We're doing a show.
Things are falling apart. I need help.
Don't worry about me, Barrett.